gets deeper. Ooh, temperature's evil, so hard to deceive you. The love isn't equal. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Darling, even if you're tied away, and nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay. I'm sick of it now that I've seen you. Every day that I wake up, you pull me in deeper. Ooh, you made me a prisoner, my soul's gatekeeper, just as grim as a reaper. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Darling, even if you're tied away, and nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay. Losing my breath, running around my head. Been playing it cool, but I've been pulling the thread. Maybe I'm too hard on myself, and maybe it ain't good for my health. All I want is all I want to feel your love. That's all I want. To feel your love. All I want is all I want.
STN Racing proudly presents round one of the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series. It's race number 3, and the time is running out for these drivers to make it to the top 70 in points and move up the ladder. The race from 3 weeks ago at Atlanta, long done, and it's time to move on to the first short track of the season. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to STN Racing's live coverage of the third race of the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series from virtual Richmond International Raceway in Henrico County, Virginia. Under the lights for the first time this season. It's bound to be a fun show tonight. Jacob Pitts, Jarrett Mackey here with you for the call. Zach Johnson running the show as our producer, as always. Glad to have you along for the ride. Jarrett, great to have you here for the first time with Road to Pro this season, and what a track to start at, right?
I'm super excited. Now, Richmond's one of the most exciting tracks on the sim and in real life on the NASCAR circuit. So under the lights tonight with these trucks, it's going to be one heck of a show.
May see a lot of beating, may see a lot of banging. That's kind of what happens with this short track racing. We'll really just have to wait and see. We have 2 pace laps here at Richmond, and while we're here, why don't we run through the grid for tonight's race? It's Will Norton on the pole with Brandon McKissick on his outside. He dominated 3 weeks ago at Atlanta before the caution. At the end of the race, kind of pushed him back through the field. Caden Honeycutt third, Justin Knobloch in fourth, Colin Bowden fifth, Adam Gilliland sixth, Liam Brotherton in seventh, Michael Cozy Jr. lines up in the eighth starting spot, Will Cooley in ninth, and Matt Adams rounds out the top 10.
Starting 11th is Kenny Brady, 12th Santiago Tires, 13th Corey Carpenter, 14th Lucas Cram, 15th Brandon McCandless, 16th Nicholas Shelton, 18th Brandon Hoff, and then you got Benjamin Nelson back there in 18th, Michael Gorilla 19th, and Jesse Swartz runs up the top 20.
Tim Sozio starts in 21st with James Wenzel on his outside, then Garrison Hogan in 23rd, Jacob Harberts in 24th, Tyler Justice lines up from the 25th starting spot with Kyle Myers on his outside in 26th, Caden Lapsevich in 27th, Daniel Smallwood to the outside in 28th, PJ Evans lines up in 29th, and Landon Huffman rounds out the top 30.
Here at the back of the pack, you got Parker White in 31st, 32nd to Christian Peterson, 33rd Will Klein, Jesse Ashton in 34th, and starting from the back will be Cale Gale in the 28 truck tonight.
We have 1 lap until we get this thing underway here. Jared, as these trucks file behind the iRacing pace car, any final thoughts here before we get this green flag waving?
We got 200 laps under the lights. Hopefully there's not a full moon tonight. We see some really good racing, and a lot of these people keep their trucks clean, but I'm not betting on that.
Well, second split, knock on wood, has been pretty clean. Between the 2 races we've done, 1 singular caution. It came inside 20 laps to go 3 weeks ago at Atlanta. We'll just have to see what happens. Pace car makes the hard left turn on a pit road. ATVO is blocking both of my screens, but let's see what happens. Green flag's in the air. Road to Pro is underway from Richmond.
Great jump there by Will Norton to get ahead of Brandon McKissick as they dive off into turn number 1.
Looks like everybody makes it through the first 2 turns just fine off of turn 2. Single file for the top 5 spots and then double wide further back. Will Norton, caution. And it's in turn 3. Big crash. Got a couple trucks involved. The 3 Landon Huffman and Matt Adams, who started inside the top 10. He winds up in the fence and actually looks like it started with that 27 getting a little bit of netcode help from the 20.
I always hate to see, first lap cautions, but yeah, a lot of trucks destroyed in that one, and we'll see a replay of it here.
Yeah, Corey Carpenter, the one that got into the back of the 27, sent him up the racetrack, and then just nowhere to go. People scattering back behind. Landon Huffman made the wrong decision, so did the one. If I can find a name for him, the one machine, that's Tyler Justice. The 28 went up and almost brushed the wall. Cale Gale, he certainly got close to it. But certainly the 3 Landon Huffman and the 27 of Matt Adams got the worst out of that damage. Looks like the 3 of Landon Huffman, looks like his engine is toast, so he may be done for the night. An early exit there for Landon Huffman.
Yeah, really, really early. About as early as you can get lap 1. So luckily the pace laps here at Richmond aren't too long, so we should be green before we know it. But yeah, tough way to start the race for a few of those guys.
And we talked about it just moments ago. We have only had 1 caution coming into tonight in second split. There's our second one. We'll see if this number goes up as time goes on. Typically with short tracks, you think, well, cautions, precautions, but these guys are pretty talented, and I would expect that maybe we'll take a seat back here at this point and let everybody just kind of ride around a little bit, get adjusted to the racetrack, know who they're racing against, and then in the second half, maybe we see the pace car a little more than the first.
We'd be on lap 7 or 8 right now had you not mentioned that there'd only been 1 caution in second split so far this season. But, you got to have the stats, so I respect it.
Will Norton still out in front, really didn't have much of a battle for the lead before that caution came out. He broke away by 2-3 truck lengths. Then it's Brandon McKissick, Caden Honeycutt, Justin Knobloch, Colin Bowden, our top 5 here from Richmond. 2 weeks from now, we are at Talladega. So if you think this could be chaotic tonight, come back in 2 weeks. I am very much looking forward to Talladega. It's always a fun show in the trucks. but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of aggression, especially from the guys that are outside the top 70 in points, looking to make their way into the top 70 in points, Jarrett, because there are plenty of folks on the bottom side of that cut line that would really like to be on top of it.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's kind of like a pick your poison situation. The madness we'll see here tonight at Richmond, it won't be the same madness we might see at Talladega, but it'll be different in a lot of ways. But really a lot of similarities between the two forms of racing, short tracks and super speedways. Lights are out on the pace car.
Yeah, we're doubled up and we're getting ready to go between Will Norton, Brandon McKissick, bringing us around. And exchanging between us and Top Split. Sounds like Top Split had the same luck. Caution lap 1. Green flag. Will Norton on the gas, and he is on it headed to turn 1.
Yeah, really great jump again from Norton. Get ahead of McKissick, as they head into turn number 1 and come out. Looks like all clean as they come out of turn number 2 onto the backstretch.
Well, turn 2 was not the trouble spot. It was turn 4 where the trouble spot began. Turns 3 and 4. Field comes around through 3 and 4 to complete their first lap under green, and we will make it. Will Norton leads the first lap under green back to turn 1.
Top 4 single file. We had a little bit of action here in 5th place as Colin Bowden's under some heat from Adam Gillen on the inside, but they kind of, keep it single file again as they head off into turn number 3.
Single file pretty much through the field here until you get back to, you got to keep going. How about Blake McCandless and Liam Brotherton? They were battling for a moment. Just behind him, Corey Carpenter, Will Cooley. They're side by side. Nicholas Shelton in the green 5 machine. He's up there. Almost won at Las Vegas. Was a strong contender at Atlanta until a penalty pushed him out of contention for the win.
Really interested to see how this track changes and how these lap times change as the track temperature kind of cools off a bit as we head off more so into the night in the sim.
A lot of battling up towards the front, up towards the front as long as you're not the top 6 or 7. Really pretty much side by side behind Blake McCandless and Michael Cozy Jr. It's Kenny Brady on the inside, Liam Brotherton up on the high side trying to make hay and get up towards the front. It's kind of like every other short track we won, except for maybe Bristol. Inside line is dominant here.
Yeah, for sure. And, we'll see a lot of interesting moments there when people want to get to the inside or want to get past somebody, really can't go high. So the only option is to use that chrome horn and move them up out of the way.
6 tire sets for these drivers, so they got 6 sets of tires on pit road if they choose to use them. Didn't see many or really any people come onto pit road, only those involved in the accident. Tyler Justice, Cale Gale, Matt Adams, and Landon Huffman were the only ones that came onto pit road. Huffman is back on the racetrack, albeit 8 laps down, and looks like he's coming back onto pit road as I speak, so maybe I spoke too soon. But I'm impressed he was at least able to get that car going again and not be 50 laps down.
Yeah, the rationale is there, maybe hoping for more wrecks, and get some points, some more points than he would if he just sat there and retired after lap 1. So it's not pleasant, it's not a fun thing to do, but it'll help him get points as that could help him later on in the season.
Especially if other people crash out, every point matters, it seems like. And for Landon Huffman right now, take a quick look at the points. He's not in the top 25. Give me a moment here while I search through this. It doesn't look like he is in the top 70. I did not see his name. I could have, of course, missed it because there are a lot of names to look over. But Landon Huffman's going to have a long way to go with pretty much an early night here from Richmond.
Yeah, for sure. That's why he's doing what he's doing. He wants to get up into that top 70 and make his name easier to find for you as we head off into the future. Working lap 15 now. Still Will Norton led every single lap so far with McKissick. Top 3 really hasn't changed since the start of this race.
And the top 10, top 12 single file. First battle is Will Cooley and Santiago Tires back here for 13th.
Cooley just has that inside line.
Tires with a win in his back pocket from Las Vegas, beating Nicholas Shelton by inches. And bounced off the wall a couple times at Atlanta, struggled, didn't get the finish he wanted, and fell back in the points. So trying to get a rebound here. And looks like he's going to get by that 11 truck of Will Cooley.
Yeah, Cooley got loose
Caution.
off turn number 2 as we have a caution.
Saw a car get turned around, couldn't catch the number. Landon Huffman comes to a dead stop. Jesse Swartz is the culprit. He went around, and he looks like he got run over by the 29 of Christian Peterson. And that is our second caution of the night. Single car spin in turn 4. Nobody else piled it on in. Here's the replay. So we take a look.
Yeah, it just looks like, just kind of got up in front of that 29 truck. Not much the 29 could have done there. It happened really quick and, spun him around. Not too much damage. I don't think, if any, maybe some to the rear of the truck, but able to get it going again. And, it happened really quick there.
Yeah, shouldn't be too bad for that 30 truck, but right side a little scraped up on that thing, I think just from contact earlier on. So Jesse Swartz, he will fall to the back of the field. It was towards the back of the pack anyway, and we do have some folks coming onto pit road. Justin Knobloch, Colin Bowden, Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr., Corey Carpenter, Will Cooley, Lucas Cram, Brandon Hoff, among some others.
Yeah, a lot of the cars up front stayed out. Kind of shocked to see that with kind of how long flag that green flag run was. But I feel like, they're going to hope for another long one. Maybe a quick caution there and get them some fresher tires than the guys who just came into pit road.
But again, you've only got 18 laps on your tires, not all of them green flag laps. You only have 6 sets. Now you only have 5 sets left if you pitted here. If we get a lot of cautions, is it really worth it?
And, for what we've seen so far, I feel like the cautions are only going to increase from there. So who knows? That's, part of the allure of these races is the strategy of it. So we already have 2 strategies here conflicting. So it'll be interesting to see as this race continues how those play out.
And we may even get a third strategy depending on who comes onto pit road on the next caution whenever that falls. So a little bit of a shuffle up at the front. It's Will Norton now out in front, and ATVO just crashed. That was fun. All right, let's try this the old-fashioned way. It's Will Norton out in front. Then Brandon McKissick, Caden Honeycutt, Adam Gilliland, Liam Brotherton, Kenny Brady, Nicholas Shelton, Santiago Tires, Benjamin Nelson, James Wenzel, your top 10. Then Smallwood, Knobloch, Bowden, McCandless, Cozy, Carpenter, Cooley, Cram, Hoff, Guerrilla, your top 20. Those guys, I think from Bowden on back, came on to pit road.
Yeah, top 12 staying out. So, we're going to see, it'd be really interesting to see how Bowden and McCandless and Cozy, those 3, and everyone else who pitted, kind of how long it takes them to make their way up through the field. And if they, try to get risky by putting the bumper to some people to get by them if they just feel like they're faster than them on new tires.
And, well, I know Cozy. He's pretty darn good at these short tracks, so I'm sure he's going to be eager to get up to the front.
And he'll have the tires to do so. So really interested to see how that goes, and it should be really fun to watch. Lights are still on the pace cars. We come to lap 22 of 200 here tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty long night here at Richmond, especially if we're going to be doing a little...
As my associate was saying, pretty long night here at Richmond if we're going to do all these pace laps as the lights go out on the pace car. Yeah, Will Norton on the inside is McKissick to his outside as we've the 1-2 that's been up front for the entire race so far tonight. Norton here on the backstretch. I believe my associates, Jacob's having a little bit of a tough time right now. Pace car here getting ready to dive off on the pit road. It's in the hands of Will Norton now as he hits the gas, and we are green again here at Richmond. McKissick ducking back in behind him, gives a little tap to his back bumper as they head off into turn number 1. Norton, McKissick, Honeycutt, your top 3. Honeycutt on the outside currently of Brandon McKissick. They head off down to the backstretch.
Hello?
And Jacob seems to be back.
ATVO just kicked me out of iRacing, broke Discord, did everything that I didn't want it to do.
Home record, there it is.
All right.
Hayden Honeycutt on the outside of Brandon McKissick. Looks like he might be able to make this move as a head off into turn number 3. That'll be the first time tonight that McKissick has not been in the top 2 of this race, and looks like Honeycutt's going to get the job done and clear him before they get to turn number 1.
Got the power down up on that outside and was able to take it away. Here comes the 6 truck as well to the outside of McKissick. He's going to try and make it happen.
Yeah, McKissick just under fire. I don't know, just kind of feeling loose of those old tires or what's going on, but Gill into the high side. He's going to be able to make it stick coming off the corner, but he's still out there and causing McKissick troubles. Kenny Brady back there in 5th.
We're now an 8th of the way home, 25 laps complete of the 200, and it's a hornet's nest back there with Cozy, Santiago Tires, and a lot more just trying to claw their way through the field.
Yeah, those guys who came in for tires kind of moving their way up the field ever so slowly. The top 12 stayed out, so Cozy, I believe, started back there in 14th, is already up to 8th, so yeah, obviously got speed under him, but we'll see how his strategy plays out as opposed to the guys who didn't come in for tires, excuse me.
Just have to see what happens, and as these tires get older, we may see some of the guys on older tires get run over by the guys on newer tires. You never know. Have to wait and see.
Good side-by. This is the most side-by-side racing I think we've seen so far tonight, and they're doing a clean job of it so far. We've been green for like 6 or 7 laps so far at this point. So good job, really interesting racing, and it'll only get more exciting from here on out.
Back off turn 4 towards the stripe, and Cozy, he's got a knife in hand, slicing and dicing through this field in that 7 truck. That thing is on rails.
And you said it the best. I mean, he's good at short tracks, and that's on full display here right now.
He struggled at Las Vegas 5 weeks ago, just bounced off the wall and really couldn't get the speed out of the truck. Then in Atlanta, he was up at the front, sped, then got back up to the front with that late race caution, sped again. That put him at the back of the grid. Actually, he spun off pit road the first time, then sped right at the end and wound up finishing 17th. So he needs a good run here tonight in order to get have any sort of shot at making the next round.
He's putting together a great night so far. I mean, you said we're only an 8th of this race, but he seems to have the speed to be a top 10, maybe top 5 car later in the race. So nothing but good signs so far tonight from Michael Cozy Jr.
Here comes the 11 underneath the 31. Don't have iRacing up yet, so I'm kind of going off the ticker for the time being, but I can at least read numbers out.
Will Cooley there, the inside of Liam Brotherton, who is just stranded on that high side. We haven't been able to see it work too much tonight, and we really don't on super speedways. So Cooley has the advantage for right now as I head off into turn number 3.
Yeah, we saw the outside work for the 23 truck for a little bit, but I think that was more just on the restart than anything. Maybe saving his tires a little bit for that kind of move up to the high side. But like I mentioned earlier, the bottom line is your friend here at Richmond.
3 wide right there for these cars in the back, but it looks like they're going to get through it cleanly. We have a battle for the lead right now as Will Norton's under some pressure for the first time so far tonight. And he actually gets passed by Colin Bowden, who takes the lead and will lead the first lap of the night that has not been led by that 25 truck of Will Norton.
And Bowden was in 3rd spot. He's come out of nowhere, gone from 3rd to 1st. He passed the 23. Now he's passed the 25. And Bowden goes up to the front. He is your new race leader here at Richmond.
Took the lead, not too long ago. Already built up a 4, 5, 6 truck length lead there on Norton. And Norton might be under pressure here from Honeycutt as they head off into turn number 1.
And Bowden right now 20th in points. He does not have a win this season, but he does have a top 5. And has an average finish of 8th. So he's been consistently good so far this season. And he also pitted under that last caution, so he is on fresh tires.
And that's made obvious by the gap he's already able to build up on the second and 3rd place trucks. 14, 15 truck lengths already. So, yeah, he might drive away from this field.
Yeah, he dropped the deuces and said, "See you later, boys, I'm out." He is gone.
That Space Station Gaming truck looking good at the front so far tonight.
Got a battle back here behind the 6. You've got the 4, you've got the 11 all clustered together, the 18 right behind them.
You know, we've not been single file. We've seen these like cells of 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide racing in the back of the pack. It's really interesting to watch. And you know, as this intensity picks up, as we get closer and closer to the end here, I feel like we'll see even more of that, even more so as the track cools down a little bit. Will Cooley there will separate himself from Gillen Knobloch there as he's, for the time being, claimed the position. Cozy now started back there in 13th, 14th on that restart, already up to 5th, putting pressure on Brandon McKissick. He'll have Brandon Norton in the sights after that. Everyone, Will Norton, excuse me, everyone in front of Cozy except for Colin Bowden on those older tires, so he might be able to make quick work of them. The front of the field, Colin Bowden opened a 2.5-second lead on Caden Honeycutt, who sits back there in 2nd place. 3rd place, the man who led most of the start of this race, Will Norton. 4th place, Brandon McKissick. And rounding out the top 5 right now is Michael Cozy Jr., who's making a move, looking to make a move on McKissick as they head off into turn number 1. Gets to his inside. And McKissick goes super
tires
high.
do wonders, and there he goes. Move Cozy to 4th, and he's trying to bring Will Cooley along with him back there, as well as Knobloch and McCandless in the 4 and the 18 machines, as Cozy fighting hard on that inside, still side by side off of 4 back to the stripe.
You know, if we do a caution to break up this green flag ground, I'm interested to see what these people who pitted on lap was that 15. I'm interested to see if they would pit again or stay out. Surely they'd have to pit again. I mean, they would be down a set of tires, but surely they'd have to.
I would think they would have to pit, but that's just me, just to be on the same strategy as everybody else.
That extra set of tires could cost them later in the race, but for someone like Cozy, I mean, if he pits again with everybody else, you know, he's gained 11 positions off that strategy call alone, so it might be worth it. And yeah, I think at this point, if we stay green, they have to pit again if we get another caution, or even on the green flag, just to stay on that same strategy as everybody else. Two-second lead at the front of the field now for Colin Bowden. Mentioned he was one of the ones who came down on pit road and took tires on that last caution. Top 5 pretty spread out. First battle as for 5th place, or 6th place, excuse me, Blake McCandless, excuse me, goes to the inside of Will Cooley to claim that position.
And he'll make it happen. McCandless, the bridesmaid 3 weeks ago at Atlanta, finished 2nd, just about a car length back from Guerrilla. And trying to make another statement here in that 18 truck tonight. Currently 7th, started in the 15th spot.
It's Brandon Hoff, that's the inside of Brandon McKissick. And, you know, Brandon McKissick was, you know, running 1-2 all night as he gets by him on the outside there coming off the corner. Running 1-2 all night, and then he was kind of falling off on this most recent restart and this run here. And he's now back there in 8th.
It's amazing what can happen with old tires. As McKissick pretty much fighting for his life with Corey Carpenter, Brandon Houth in the 20 and the 33 machines.
Doing a good job. One of those guys on old tires, as you mentioned.
Clinging to dear life.
See, the top 10 are pretty spread out now. I mean, you know, everyone's single file. You know, in 11th, we got Jacob Harberts, who started 24th. He's up to 11th, so good run for him so far is in the first quarter of this race. That Alpine Stars Ford F-150. Behind that, we got Michael Gorilla under some pressure from Kenny Brady as he goes to the high side. In the corner, trying to make it stick. Unable to put the same amount of power down. I think. Actually, he'll get the run off the corner. They cross the stripe. Gorilla still has the position. The bottom, definitely the dominant line here at Richmond, as we've said so many times. This Gorilla now goes to the inside of Jacob Harberts. Only look at the position this time, but we'll be on his inside here as they dive off into the corner.
Looking back here with Adam Gilliland, he's got a charge up in, or he's kind of leading a charge right now with Gorilla, Harberts, Lapsevich, Kenny Brady, bump drafted back there with Christian Peterson, Liam Brotherton there as well. 34, Lucas Cram on the inside, the iRacing machine, the 34.
Richmond's one of those tracks where if there's not really that much going on up front, you can always bet on at the back these drivers just going for it, especially at night. Richmond in these trucks. So been super interesting so far, this like sort of mid-pack battle, and you know, I think as we get closer to the end, we'll see the battle up front heat up a little bit. But for right now, all the action's in the midfield. Just over a quarter of this race gone already. Lap 54, down about a 40-lap green flag run here. Knock on wood, did not want to jinx that. As Michael Cozy Jr. just put the move on Justin Knobloch to move up into the 4th position. The only side-by-side battle in the top 10 is Knobloch still on the inside of Cozy in that 7 truck.
All right, well, while we're here, let's go to a break. A lot of battles going on. You won't miss a thing. We're going to go side by side here on STN. It is Caden Honeycutt. No, it's Colin Bowden out in front here at Richmond. We're back in a moment.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Well, we promised you wouldn't miss a thing, and guess what? You didn't. It's a cluster back there headed into turn number 3. Is Nicholas Shelton up there battling on the high side. Garrison Hogan down on the bottom with the 31 of Liam Brotherton seeing it all from his rearview mirror. That's the battle for 19th right now.
It's a really good battle, too. There's some damage on the back there of Garrison Hogan's truck, the right rear, and even more so on Nicholas Shelton's right rear as well. So I don't know if that's from this battle in particular, but just shows that people are bumping each other's bumpers off tonight.
It's probably, well, it could be from anything, really, just because you're so close to the wall on the straightaways, you're so close to everybody else still all over the racetrack, so I'm not too surprised at the fact that some of these guys have damage and are still running.
Except for that first caution, though, we really haven't seen anyone have to back out of this one. I believe only Landon Hoffman's the only DNF so far in this one. So to be 63 laps into a 200-lap short track race, that's not too bad of a number still going in this race. And actually, he's the only one a lap down still.
Well, Hoffman is still on the racetrack, believe it or not. 29 laps down, the only car a lap down, you're right. So if we do get a caution, he'd get the free pass once, so he'd be only 28 laps down. That thing is beat up as battle for third. Justin Knobloch to the inside of the 25 machine of Will Norton off a 2.
No one is hoping the phrase cautions breed caution more than Landon Huffman back there. I believe he needs about 30 cautions to get back on that lead lap if things stay the way they are. So he's hoping on that one for sure. See a good battle there between the 25 truck.
Yeah, now here comes McCandless to the inside. Looks like he's not going to be quite clear. That's going to open the door for Cozy back there as well.
The Reed truck battle made very quickly here, and Cozy's going to try to follow McCandless there to Will Norton. And that inside looks like McCandless is going to clear him, and Cozy might as well as they head off into turn number 1.
Fresh tires, they do wonders. The 18 and the 7, they pitted under that last caution flag. The 25 did not.
Yeah, well, Norton's been on these tires for about 67 laps, and that's showing. I mean, he and all the top 12 that stayed on that last caution, so they're begging for new tires, and I think we'll see maybe some of them on the pit road here pretty soon.
It's certainly possible, as Colin Bowden with a 4.5 second lead over Caden Honeycutt right now for the lead. Let's go back to the battle for 10th. Brandon McKissick, Brandon Hoff. It's the battle of the Brandons back here. Off a 2, side by side.
McKissick so far has that inside, which we said all night, it's been the dominant one of any short track, really, and Hoff just unable to put it down, and they almost got loose there and made contact off the corner.
McKissick got a little too wide. Hoff had to lift to give him some room, and so he didn't get put in the wall. And all they're living is Landon Huffman, his beached truck down on the bottom here, just kind of putting around. I think he's just letting everybody else by, so that way he can get back up to speed and not be in anybody's way.
30 laps down, bringing it down pit road, it looks like, so.
And being told that his engine went boom. So I think that is officially the end of Landon Huffman's night.
Don't think he can get his laps back anymore after that one. He's 31 down now, and
well, I mean,
you know,
he can still take the engine repair. It's going to be 40 minutes in the box, which, I mean, there might still be laps left.
He's going to be hoping for a lot of overtimes in this one.
Well, we only have 3 green, white checkers. He's going to need about 30 to get back anywhere close to the lead lap. So unfortunate night for Landon Huffman, who was involved in that accident on the opening lap. And it looks like any contention he had, it was pretty much over from when he got involved in that accident. But any miracle shot he had is out the window at this point.
Colin Bowden looking to put Matt Adams a lap down here in a few laps. Should be up to him about 3 or 4, maybe 5 laps, and he'd be the second car to go a lap down. And after that, I mean, you know, with the new tires, Colin Bowden can start putting people lap down, you know, every single lap and make that battle for that lucky dog position interesting.
Nice little battle, 10th through 12th. You've got Brandon Hoff, Michael Gorilia, Caden Lapsevich, with Kenny Brady lurking right behind. Lapsevich has been in all 3 second split races. We haven't talked about him much in any of those races. This is the first time that he's been really able to shine so far.
And, you know, just kind of buying his time here. I mean, he knows he has the 2 spots to get into the top 10 ahead of him as he goes to the inside of Michael Gorilla there, and might almost make it 3 wide there as Brandon Hoff went up the track a little bit, but the thing's calmed down right there for now. But yeah, Lapsevich having a really solid run so far tonight. He started 27th all the way up to 12th so far.
Gorilia with the win last week. He is 3rd in points overall. so things looking pretty good for him. He finished second in Vegas, won in Atlanta, and he's going to almost get hit by Lapcevich going into turn 3. Lapcevich goes up the racetrack. Here comes Kenny Brady on the inside.
Kenny Brady's had a really fast truck all night, and that was a really easy pass for him there on Lapcevich, and gets by him, and now his sights are set on trying to get into that top 10.
Guerrilla just trying to diamond the corners, get underneath Hoff on corner exit. Might be able to do it here in 3 and 4. Cuts to the inside. He's got room right on that yellow line. They'll be side by side back to the stripe.
Guerrilla got a little bit loose there in the center of the corner. He did a great job to save it and not cause any more troubles, but he goes back to the inside as they head off into turn number 1.
Guerrilla a little tight there through 1 and 2. Gets the car to cut. And he can't do anything about it. He's going to have to fall back in line and try it another day. Like right here.
Yeah, he's certainly not giving up, trying to get that 11th spot away from 10th spot away from Brandon Hoff. Good little battle ahead of them. And this, cell of trucks get up there and get up into that battle for 8th place between McKissick and Carpenter.
Everybody pretty evenly spaced out up at the front. And Landon Huffman can confirm he has parked the truck. He will finish in the 35th and final position for tonight's race.
Hate to see that. I mean, he really was trying to just ride laps and hope for, some legs, get some points like we were talking about, get 1 or 2 extra points. But, yeah, engine blew, and it's really unfortunate there from Landon Hoffman.
Lapcevich from Canada, as you may have seen on our graphics, who former driver of a car in the Pinty Series, the NASCAR Pinty Series, now here on iRacing, trying to make Road to Pro. Trying to make it to Pro. He's in Road to Pro right now, and just trying to put together a solid night back in the 13th spot.
And to be fair, he's putting together a solid night like we just touched on. I mean, coming from 27th, big wreck at the start, maybe gained some spots there, but up to 13th, and has a clean truck, and that's paramount so far as he crosses the stripe to start lap 81.
Yeah, we're slowly, pretty quickly, actually, reeling in halfway. I didn't realize we were that far into the night. We're only 20 laps away from halfway as Guerrilla gets a little sideways, and here comes Kenny Brady on the outside in turn 3.
Brady there on that high side, coming off the corner. Going to try to put the power down, hoping Guerrilla will get loose again, and Guerrilla just couldn't carry the speed in the corner, and Brady clears them in the center of the turn.
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
Guerrilla gave him the spot, but it was a tight spot to fit in there for Kenny Brady, and he'll set his sights on the 33 of Brandon Hoff as, oh boy, look at this back behind him. Lapcevich getting some pressure from Adam Gilliland back here. This is 13th.
I thought Lapcevich put the bumper there to Guerrilla. Might do it again and just, kind of slides up the track. Lapcevich kind of has a hold the inside, off corner exit. Gets loose himself, but is able to collect it. And still to that back bumper of Guerrilla.
And lap traffic ahead as well. Kenny Brady's going to cut to the inside. He may run into Matt Adams before this is said and done. Speaking of running into Lapcevich, and Adam Gilliland almost made contact off of 4. That was close.
Lapcevich sticking to that high side, a chance to go to the bottom, but gets loose there on the center of the corner again, and Gilliland's going to take advantage of that and take the position before they get to turn number 3.
2 great battles as there goes Gilliland. He gets by, back up to the battle just in front of him. Kenny Brady, Brandon Hoff, he's been trying, but he just hasn't been able to get by that Valvoline machine.
Brandon Hoff doing a great job holding that position. Kenny Brady looks like he might finally get it done there, coming off the corner, unable to get to his inside, but in this turn, maybe. Hoff seems to be really comfortable running that high side in that 33 truck.
Able to put the power down up on that high side and just get a better launch off, especially when Kenny Brady gets sideways like that and has to lose a little bit of time. That also helps. That also helps Brandon Hoff just a little bit.
Kenny Brady about right where he started there on lap 1, 11th, currently in 11th, but trying to work Brandon Hoff for that top 10 position and gets to his inside here. They're going to cross the stripe. It looks like Hoff will still be in that 10th spot as Kenny Brady gets loose off the corner.
Saw Brady kind of run him up the racetrack a little bit. Wasn't down on the bottom, was up right on the corner panel of that 33, and here he goes, down to the inside again. Full squirrely on the one corner exit. Hoff gets a little bit of a better run, still side by side, and Guerrilla is just sitting there waiting for these two to take each other out, I'm sure of it.
He's watching Brady get loose at almost every single corner of every single lap so far, so Guerrilla is just holding tight, and maybe they wash up a little bit of the racetrack, he'll be able to swing by there and get both spots.
Brady still fighting on the bottom.
Hoff just gets that run off the corner every single time from that high side, and Brady looks like when they cross the stripe this time, held that position, but Hoff's still there on the outside battling him hard.
But for how long is he going to have this position? Goes to the inside again. Hoff is not giving up easy, and he'll get the spot. Hoff tries to get the crossover. A little too loose. Kenny Brady, top 10.
Brady can take a deep breath knowing he finally is done with that battle for the time being. I think Grillia might have something to say about it if he can get by Hoff here in a quick fashion, as we're on lap 90 already of 200.
How about a battle for second? Caden Honeycutt, Justin Knobloch.
Knobloch got a little bit loose there on corner exit, able to gather it back up in that space station racing truck.
And we do have a few that have come onto pit road already. Matt Adams, PJ Evans, Kyle Myers have all made stops. Myers is still sitting on pit road, but Evans pitted and is actually flying up through the field right now as we speak. There he goes.
Yes. Driving by cars like, the 23 truck, Caden Honeycutt, he's been on those tires for 92 laps, so no shock that he looked like a bar on the side of the road there as he got blown by that lap car.
Oh, Knobloch threw it in there on the inside and almost made contact with Honeycutt on the exit.
Kept it clean for the time being as these two guys are 7 seconds behind Colin Bowden, who, like we said, pitted on that lap 15 caution, and yeah, he's checked out. We haven't seen him since the start of since he got to the front of the field.
And Honeycutt, the racetrack's down here, lost a little bit of time, but not as much as I thought he would. Knobloch almost lost it on corner exit, and Blake McCandless is coming. These tires are shot.
Yeah, and Cozy's watching all this happen in front of him, just, hoping it continues. He's in 5th right now, but he sees 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in front of him, about to start battling with each other, so he has a smile on his face for sure.
Now Knobloch trying to run the outside and kind of start up high, then crank it down low and get that run off the high side. Looks like it's kind of working for the time being as he tries to reel back in Honeycutt. They're 7 seconds behind Bowden out front. Good grief.
5 laps away from halfway here in this one. Been green for about, 75 laps so far? 85 laps since our last caution. About.
And we are 4, make it 5 laps away from halfway. As here comes Knobloch to the inside once again. Can't quite get the power down. Honeycutt with the better run on the high side.
Knobloch doing everything he can to try to get by Caden Honeycutt, even getting loose there in the center of the corner. Now, that's going to take some time away from him, but Honeycutt still in his sights as they start lap 97. Goes to the inside of the 23 truck as he washed up the track a little bit.
Well, I find this battle interesting because you do not think of Richmond or Iowa, which is pretty much a copy-paste of this racetrack, as a multi-groove racetrack. Yet here these guys are running top, bottom, all over the place, almost like it's Auto Club, trying to get any sort of grip that they can to get by each other. Unbelievable.
And a lot of it's down to tires. It could be down to track temps. It also could be down to just the different varying skill of these drivers. They're all obviously super talented. On the sim, and Knobloch with a super big slide off the corner, are able to gather it back in. But yeah, I totally agree. Been incredible to watch so far, and we're not even at halfway yet.
Being told by our producer that they did something in the most recent patch specifically for Richmond to kind of make it multi-groove racing. My response was virtual PJ1. Haven't heard anything back on it, but that's going to be my story, and I'm going to stick to it. We are 2 laps away from halfway as Colin Bowden is putting on a clinic here at Richmond thus far. 2 cautions all in the first 10 laps. Since then, we have been pretty clean, and this battle for second's been intriguing for the last 10 laps or so.
Again, we've seen Knobloch just dive to that inside and just can't really get stick. That's been the story the last 10 laps of this battle. And Caden Honeycutt, I'm sure he's having a blast there defending second place.
Santiago Tires says he's coming to pit road, and we are halfway here at Richmond. Bring out the bells. Halfway home. So we crossed the halfway point of tonight's race. It's time to bring you the iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing. iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in Australian supercars, IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, the World of Outlaws, and more. Colin Bowden putting on a clinic. He's out front. The battle for second going on between Caden Honeycutt and Justin Knobloch. Then it's Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr., your top five. We've got one car, I think, smoking down on pit road. Looks like Tyler Justice. Meanwhile, Will Norton in sixth, Will Cooley seventh, Brandon McKissick in eighth, Kenny Brady in ninth, Corey Carpenter rounding out the top 10.
Brennan Hoff back there in 11th, Caden Lapsevich in 12th, Adam Gill in 13th, Michael Guerrilla back there in 14th, Liam Brotherton 15th, Christian Peterson 16th, Nicholas Shelton 17th, Garrison Hogan in 18th, Will Klein in 19th, and Jacob Harberts rounding out the top 20 in that 19 truck.
I almost saw Justin Knobloch crash it on the back straight while you were doing that. Got loose up on the high side, made a little chicane for himself down the back stretch. 21st is Daniel Smallwood, 22nd, Cale Gale. Green flag pit stops are going on in the back half of the field, so this is going to shuffle a lot. Tim Sozio in 23rd, Liam Brotherton 24th, Brandon Hoff now 26th, Jesse Atchison 25th, James Wenzel 27th, Matt Adams 28th, PJ Evans 29th, Lucas Cram 30th, and Santiago Tires, Parker White, Tyler Justice, who is, I think, out, Kyle Myers, and Landon Huffman all at the back of the field as the 23 coming to pit road. That is Caden Honeycutt.
And Knobloch finally got by him there. So that battle ended, kind of went quietly into the night as the Caden Honeycutt came down pit road to get fresh rubbers on his car and truck, get some gas in it as well.
And with that, that concludes tonight's iRacing Midway Race Break with over 170,000 drivers on the service and over 90 laser scan tracks and cars to choose from. iRacing is your portal to the racing world. Get on track today at iRacing.com. Just past halfway, 106 laps are in the books. And pit stops are underway still. Kenny Brady is on pit road, as well as Tim Sozio. They're on pit road right now. The top 10-ish have yet to pit. Will Norton coming to pit road now from the P6 position. These guys on old tires might as well be racing standing still right now. They're getting blown by just about everybody that has already come onto pit road.
Yeah, most definitely. And, those tires are 80 laps old, so no shock to see that. But, yeah, Callum Bowden's still in the lead. Knobloch second. The Space Station Gaming teammates 1-2 right now. And Cozy back there in third. All those guys pitted lap 15 when that second caution came out.
Colin Bowden, look at the hornet's nest that he's in. He's got cars coming by him on any side, every side. Start tracking the car on corner exit like it's Bristol dirt. All over the place in that 10 truck.
He's probably having a blast doing it. He ran like 40, 50 laps by himself.
Wide. He's going to get put 4 wide almost by lap traffic, slide up the racetrack, almost hit the 30 of Jesse Swartz. He's already spun once tonight. Goodness.
Not often you see the leader get put 4 wide by lap cars, but, that's why Richmond at night, it's a different animal. And I'm sure he's having a blast, though, spending 40 laps racing by himself, and now he has a little bit of fun here while he maintains the lead.
Oh, no, I don't think this is any fun at all, because you're worried this could be your race wound up toast here if somebody makes one bad decision. But he is still staying out as Will Cooley comes on to pit road in the back. Not in the back, he was in 5th.
Still staying out, and looks like he'll be on the high side here as he goes off in turn number 3. So if he wanted to pit this lap, I don't even think he could get it done.
Garrison Hogan, Cale Gale, they're all coming in. Oh boy. Well, the 8 missed his box. Now the leader is 4 wide off turn 4. The 8 missed the entrance to pit road. He's going to go around and do another lap. Scare the holy bejeebus out of Colin Bowden.
I think you just said it perfectly. I mean, the only way to describe what he's going through right now is a hornet's nest. I mean, cars left, cars right, 2 cars, 1 left, 1 right. So he's having I think it's a blast for us. I agree. I don't think it's that much of a fun show for him right now. But yes,
all right, here we go. Knobloch, Cozy, McCandless, they're all coming in this lap. 2nd through 4th coming in. Colin Bowden still staying out. It looks like he's going to stay out at least one more as he's got the 9 truck cutting underneath him of Will Klein. I think you'll be able to pit this time by if you wanted to. And he is pitting this time by.
So he'll still have newer tires than everyone on track by, some by just a lap or two, but still, I mean, that could prove very useful.
But they're going to be very fresh compared to Caden Honeycutt, who came onto pit road 10 laps ago already, 8 laps ago already, so yikes.
Yeah, and that's about the same gap that we saw with that first caution. Maybe 1 or 2 laps less than the same gap in tires, but still, I mean, we saw how valuable that was for him to get to the front. So, I really like the call there from Bowden.
New leader, Caden Lapsevich. He has not come onto pit road yet, and he has got people all over him as he's going to go 3 wide with getting stuck up on the high side. Jacob Harbert's in second, then it's Honeycutt. And, oh my goodness, Lapsevich praying for help right now. Lapsevich coming in this time.
Jacob Harbert's out there in second place. Now the highest he's been all night.
Trying to find him on the racetrack. Looks like he's going to come in this time by as well, which will mean Caden Honeycutt will come back around. There he goes off of turn 4, and Caden Honeycutt is back to the race lead. Well, is to the race lead. I'm not sure he's led yet tonight. It's going to be Brandon McKissick in second in the 13 truck, but he has Colin Bowden all over him, and here goes Bowden to the inside for second. Will Norton right there as well.
Bowden does not like not having the lead. It looks like he flew there right by the 13 truck of Brandon McKissick to make his way into the 3rd place position.
And with this strategy, the guys that pitted together, Knobloch, Cozy, and McCandless, they're now 9th, 11th, and 15th. They're far down the order. So staying up for them didn't quite work as well as it did for Colin Bowden, who's now in second. That's just how far ahead he was.
Another thing to mention, too, is you mentioned it, when he was coming down pit road, he has 9 8-lap fresher tires than Caden Honeycutt, and he's in second place right behind Honeycutt. So, anxious to see how quickly this gap of 6 seconds right now goes away, and Bowden gets up there and gives him some pressure for the lead of the race.
Well, he's about 4/10 faster than Honeycutt a lap, so it won't be long. Battle for 3rd, heating up between McKissick and Will Norton.
Norton led the first about 30 laps of this one and back there in 4th right now. So eager to get back up there to the front. McKissick having a really solid night. Hasn't been too far out of the top 5, 10 all night.
Yeah, McKissick fell back a lot with that. He stayed out and it really fell back since then. He's found his way back up into the top 3. We'll see how long this lasts.
Honeycutt counting down the laps. He has a under 5-second lead now on Bowden, who's really just cutting into that lead every single lap. 4/10, half a second every single lap, like you were saying. So, like you said, it's not going to be too long before he's up there with the 23 truck.
And these drivers are pretty split right now on whether they want to caution or don't want to caution. I think it's been about 60-40. 60 don't want to caution, 40% do want to caution right now. Here comes Cozy. He's back in the 8th spot. Just made a pass on the outside of Kenny Brady. And now here he is trying to kick down the door of Lucas Cram.
We saw Cozy get as high up as 4th place so far tonight. Kind of that strategy call to pit on that lap. And he goes to the inside there, the 34 Valvoline truck of Cram. iRacing or Valvoline?
Here we go. Cozy to the inside. And he's got it.
Really made it look easy there on the inside.
So Cozy to 7th, and he is right now one of the fastest cars on track. Only Justin Knobloch just up the road in front of him is faster.
Definitely good company to be in tonight as Knobloch goes for the move on Brandon Hoff to knock his way into the top 5.
And he's going to do it. Hoff's been tough to pass, at least earlier on tonight. Not so much now. And he's going to fall to the sixth spot.
Keeping Knobloch in his sights, though, but as you said, Knobloch one of the fastest trucks on track, so not going to be able to do much there as he pulls away from him a little bit. And he's immediately under pressure from Michael Cozy back there for 6th place.
There goes Cozy, gets by Brandon Hoff, and now he'll try and set his sights on Knobloch. They were even that last time around on lap times. By the way, Colin Bowden, 2.5 seconds behind Caden Honeycutt, so it hasn't taken very long for him to start reeling in that gap.
Yeah, he's been flying, absolutely flying. 2.5 seconds now. On track, Honeycutt's only 2 trucks ahead of him. Might be 3 here if he can get past this lap car, but lap truck, excuse me. So, you know, it's going to be only a matter of time before Bowden's right there on that back bumper of Honeycutt for the lead.
Bowden finished 3rd last race 3 weeks ago at Atlanta.
Doing a great job here tonight. Been one of the fastest trucks all night. Led a huge chunk of this race so far.
Looking for his first win on the season, sitting 20th in points right now. A win certainly would be nice. A little more insurance heading into the wild card of Talladega in 2 weeks.
So the perfect way to describe Talladega as a wild card. As you know, we'll see a lot of close racing and, you know, that dreaded big one that we always hear about. We had sort of a big one here at the start of this one, but nothing will compare to what we might see at Talladega here in a few weeks' time.
Well, as long as it doesn't turn into a moon car event where we have 5 wrecks involving half the field, I think we'll be okay. Remember, no fast repairs at Talladega, so when you wreck your car, you're done. So,
and they're all going to know that.
Gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, they're all going to know that.
Bowden 2.5 back on Caden Honeycutt. Brandon McKissick in 3rd, 6 seconds back behind that battle. Will Norton battling him still, and Knobloch closing in on that gap, as well as Michael Cozy Jr.
Knobloch's been flying ever since that round of pit stops. Up into 5th place on the bumper of Norton, and right ahead of Norton is McKissick right there. So Knobloch has in his sights the 3rd place truck on track, and that's where the race is at right now. I mean, Bowden's flying up to Honeycutt, so, you know, 3rd place right now is a really good position to be in.
And Knobloch is on the freshest tires out of those up at the front.
It's definitely going to be used to his advantage, you know, as we're on lap 134 of 200 right now.
Take a look at Colin Bowden. Got 3 lap cars all around him here. He's making it work. As he's now about a second back on Honeycutt.
The only 2 trucks separate him and the leader. It might be 1 truck here by the time they get to turn number 3. And Honeycutt's seen him, you know, that Ford F-150 front bumper getting bigger and bigger in his mirror every single lap, every single corner. So he's definitely starting to feel the pressure, I think. And he knows how fast Bowden is. And Bowden's doing a great job using that speed to make his way through these lap cars and try to get back up to the lead in this one.
And, well, for Honeycutt, there's not a lot of lap traffic in front of him. You've got Matt Adams and Daniel Smallwood battling just up the road. Not like a giant wall like what's going on behind Bowden right now.
Less than a second already.
And Will Norton. Well, actually, Knobloch got by Norton, and now here he comes by McKissick on the outside.
Got 2 for the price of 1 right there. If he can make this high side work, get the power down off the corner, and he does. It looks like he's going to throw all that power down, clear him by at least a truck length and a half to head off into turn number 3. That was great. A great move there by Knobloch to get up in the 3rd spot.
That thing is on rails. Him and Cozy are going to be the guys to watch here in the latter stages of this one. We're closing in on 50 laps to go, and these guys are flying.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned, you know, some drivers are split. Do we want to caution? Do we not? I think those are 2 drivers who really want to caution to close this gap between them and Bowden because they're flying, but right now that's a huge gap to make up in these dying stages if Bowden's just as fast as they are.
Speaking of battle for the lead, here comes Colin Bowden. All over the back bumper, that 23 curved machine of Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt kind of shuts the door on him going down into turn one. Park the bus on the inside. Bowden slides up the racetrack, trying to get through this lap traffic. It's not helping him, but it's not helping Honeycutt either. Here we go, looking to the inside. Honeycutt again slams the door.
Honeycutt got pretty loose there in the center of the corner. Thought Bowden might have gotten into him there, did not, and it stays clean. Honeycutt right now for the lead. Excuse me, Bowden for the lead. Head off to turn one. They're side by side for the lead.
And the lap cars almost wadded him up behind him. Bowden on the inside, can't quite get the power down. Still side by side, headed for turn 3. This should do it here. Bowden sends it in on the inside. Can Honeycutt get a better run on the high side? We saw the outside work for him earlier. Still hanging, not quite clear back to the stripe. Now turn 1 again.
Bowden officially led that last lap by less than a tenth of a second, and now he'll put a truck length between him and Honeycutt as they come off turn 2.
Honeycutt just came over the radio, said, well done. I think that's all Honeycutt had for him. Now inside, 60 laps to go.
Yeah, Honeycutt knows how fast Bowden's truck is, and once he got by him there, he threw his hands up pretty much, said, yeah, not much I can do, well done. Cheers on that one, and he raced him clean, and it was really good to see that at this point in the race. But, Bowden with the faster truck, why not race him clean,
Battle for 4th, Brandon McKissick, Michael Cozy Jr. It's a choo-choo train. You got Will Norton and Blake McCandless right behind him as well.
Cozy behind McKissick there. And then Knobloch has just kind of said peace out to this little group, and Cozy looked to the inside of McKissick here.
And see ya. He goes by. Here comes Norton diving it in on McKissick. They almost make contact, and now here comes Blake to the inside.
Norton really tried to take advantage of McKissick being stuck on the high side, get by him, but now McCandless is going to take advantage of Norton being on the high side and try to make that pass for 6th place as they head off into the first turn.
And it looks like McCandless will get it done. Maybe bumper clear. Yes, top 5 for Brandon, 6th, how about, for Blake McCandless. I lost track of where we were at on the racetrack.
Lap 147 beginning on this as they cross the stripe. That time 146, excuse me. So 55 laps to go in this one. Still a quarter of the race to go. A lot could happen. Been pretty clean since the second caution of the race on lap, was it 10-11? So.
Yeah, really. I thought they would race clean, just not this clean. Like, come on, guys, let's make some contact. Let's start a caution, something.
And that's exactly
bring
what
everything back together.
Yeah, that's what Knobloch and Cozy was saying. Like we mentioned before, they have such fast trucks, but that gap to Bowden up front is just going to be really hard to overcome if they can't get a caution.
And how about McKissick trying to hang on? McCandless around the outside. McCandless to P5.
McCandless doing a great job in 5th. The top 5 pretty spread out right now. Is even up front. Bowden already opened up a 2nd and 2/10 lead over Honeycutt. So some nice gaps there in the top 5. Just kind of shows the different speeds of these trucks and talents of these drivers.
And Knobloch is faster than Bowden consistently. Problem is, it's only by a 10th. And he's 7 seconds back.
He's begging for a caution back there. So, he'll be hoping to come off the corner and see someone spun around, or maybe throw his water bottle out the truck and try to get a debris caution out of it.
Now, of course, Knobloch and Bowden, I'm not 100% sure if they're teammates, but they've got the same truck design on their truck. So, context clues, that tells me they're teammates. I don't know. Knobloch may just be fine with letting Bowden win this thing, and maybe Knobloch can try for P2 and try and catch Honeycutt before this thing's said and done. But I'm sure Knobloch also wouldn't mind a win either.
No, it's always good to see your teammate get a victory. So, I'm sure either way he'll be happy. 3rd place is a great result. A race like this, especially heading into Talladega. So, yeah, kind of double-edged sword there.
Inside 50 to go. Let's take a look at what's coming up on the schedule for STN Racing. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. FTF Saturday Night Showdown League. I don't remember what it's called. Presented by STN, except it's on a Friday. They're at Pocono with the Riley Daytona prototypes. They were supposed to do that last week or 2 weeks ago. Now it's this weekend. Sunday? I thought this was Saturday. It says Sunday, April 11th, which isn't... Is it right? Yeah. No, I'm wrong. Duh. Sunday, April 11th, 4 o'clock. I have it right in my calendar, just wrong in my brain. The 1998 Alabama 500K. So the deal is, it's the 87 cars throwing back to NASCAR's 50th anniversary, full field of classic paint schemes, 500 kilometers around Talladega. Should be a fun time. Blake McCandless and I will be with you for the call and maybe some more. I don't know what the full lineup looks like then. FTF SNSL presented by STN again at Daytona with the Xfinity cars, which sets the playoff grid for the final race at Talladega the following week. A whole lot of good stuff coming up here on STN.
Just want to make a quick note of something. We got Caden Honeycutt running in second. It's been a solid day so far. You know, he's back there in the points for this series, in 115th position. So, you know, great points day so far for him, even though he's getting pulled on here by Colin Bowden. So, great points day from Honeycutt so far tonight.
And, well, at this point, just kind of scanning around the racetrack for battles here on the racetrack. McKissick and Will Norton are still fighting. This is now for 6th.
Been fighting all night with Brandon McKissick.
Yeah, these two, it's like a cat on Velcro. They just they're stuck together.
Match made in heaven for those two, for sure. It's been interesting to watch all night as well. I mean, it's been clean all night as well between these two drivers.
Yeah, which has been very nice. And you see McCandless just up the road in front of them as well. That's not a battle, unfortunately.
Not a lot of battles on track, I will say. Kind of
no, not a lot. Most of them are.
Must not be a full moon tonight over the Richmond.
Yeah, we've got this one back here between Hoff and Cram. This is for 10th. This is about where I was going to head to. This is the only battle we really have on the racetrack right now.
Cram in that iRacing 34 Chevrolet Silverado goes to the inside of Brandon Hoff. We kind of wash up the track just a little bit in that Valvoline truck.
Yeah, 3 Silverados and then a Toyota in this battle. Cram trying to do everything he can down on the inside.
Cram just kind of hoping that inside pays off for him eventually. And like I said, Brandon Hoff been comfortable most of the night running that high side. Really interesting to see. I don't really know anyone else has been doing that as much as he has.
Looking over at the podium booth chat right now to see what's going on in Top Split. Sounds like people want to file protests against the driver. It's gotten that bad. We've kept it clean. It sounds like things have gotten ugly over there in Top Split.
iRacer's favorite insult. I will file a protest against you right after this one. So, cross and be having a lot of emails tonight on Top Split, it sounds like.
3 wide back here. Guerrilla, Carpenter, Brotherton. This is for 13th on to 15th. With Christian Peterson blinking and almost running over Michael Guerrilla. Oh my. Peterson, one of the teammates of Michael Cozy Jr., blinking in and out, and scaring the holy bejeebus out of everybody. Still blinking in and out. I think Guerrilla may wind up in the wall here.
Yeah, blinking doesn't usually go over well with fellow iRacers, especially in such intense situations like these.
And that's PJ Evans flying by there, the lap car in the 17. Whew. Oh, man, Peterson came back just to show us his drifting skills there off of turn 4. That was scary.
Not giving out style points tonight, so did a good job to save that one.
And Lapsovich just doesn't know where to go.
Lapsovich has fallen off quite a bit before that round of green flag pit stops. He was up there in the top 10 for a little while, so.
Well, I think he stayed out for too long and just got stuck back in traffic. Now in the 16th, make it 17th spot. Really, he only got that far up through the field because of staying out for so long. And, oh my, that 29 gets dangerously close to the back of the 12.
Again, they're doing a great job of keeping it clean so far, these drivers. As we already
There was
at
a
lap
point where
167.
I thought Lapsovich was going to completely take out Peterson there. I'm not going to lie, coming off 4. It certainly looked like he got close. I don't even know where he's at on the racetrack right now.
The high side definitely has found some speed as this race has continued, but not enough to.
Here he goes to the inside of Gorilla. He gets the spot, I think. Yep. Crossover move. And Nicholas Shelton back there as well. It's just not been a good night for him as, oh man, that got close.
Back to the inside, there's Guerrilla for the blinking car, and blinks right back in, still on that high side. So it was good to see when they don't change lanes if you're blinking.
He's trying.
If you're gonna blink, at least hold your line. Doing a great job of that and keeping everything clean as Lapsovich is on the outside now. Gets to the inside, right, almost cut the nose off of him. And dives to the inside of the 5 truck of Nicholas Shelton, try to get that spot for him.
Yeah, right now Peterson's just kind of gridlocking everybody else. Guerrilla on back. They can't get by him because they're worried they're about to get murdered. And it sounds like the drivers are not having a very fun time right now. I just heard Blake McCandless shout us out and say we're troopers for what we're doing. I don't think the race is that bad, to be completely honest. I think they're putting on a good show for what we got.
I'm having a blast up here.
I mean, sure, we're not having cutthroat battles for the lead. It happens. I mean, we're not going to have a late race caution and then a photo finish every week. We know that. As, oh my, Shelton trying to get by Guerrilla. He's almost there. And I think he would have been able to get it if he wasn't so concerned about the 29 truck.
They're saving that late race caution and the close finish for Talladega as the next stop on this schedule.
Maybe. That'll be something, huh?
Nearly 7/8 of this race, already almost through here in the books. As Bowden up front, 5-second lead to second place, Caden Honeycutt, who I mentioned before, has an incredible points day on his hands. 115th in the standings here for the iRacing eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying series. So second place right now and second split. That's gonna do wonders for a points day.
Oh man, Guerrilla almost got turned by Lapsovich because he had no idea where the 29 is. I mean, they almost wadded up 3 or 4 trucks back here.
Did a great job not to, though. Not a lot of drivers out of this race. I mean, that would be terrible to try to, get a DNF here in this situation.
Yeah. Oh, trouble! Back straightaway, Lapsovich in the air, caution!
I had to say it.
Lapsovich just boomeranged right in front of the race leaders. Oh my gosh. He made contact with the 9 of Will Klein, and somehow the 22 got up in the air on top of the wall and then got punted by the 24 of James Wenzel. And we just got our late race caution.
And that wasn't just a caution. I mean, if that would be life, that would have been a red flag. That was a wicked, wicked hit for Leipzig. He even got into the fence on the backstretch on that one.
And you got to wonder how much Christian Peterson may have been an influence in that crash. Because this was all right behind him.
And right in front of the leaders, for sure, like you mentioned.
Yep. Colin Bowden had to take some evasive action to avoid that. He's your race leader, and feeding time at the zoo. Everybody's coming to pit road, and if you don't hear, I think you deserve to lose your computer, your rig, your license, everything, if you decide to stay out here.
There's going to be some people that take that gamble. Some people maybe been back in the pack all day and just want to throw their name into the hat of who could win this one.
2 tires maybe I could kind of sort of reason with. If you don't take tires here and only take fuel, I'm sorry, but no. Don't even think about it.
I've seen stranger things, but, you know, desperation calls for desperate measures. So, race off pit road, I believe Bowden's going to win that one.
Bowden hit the cone on corner exit. Don't think that really matters. I almost saw Cozy get turned coming off pit road. He got passed by McCandless. And we have Tim Sozio. He stayed out. He is the free pass, I think. I don't know. I really have no idea, but he's on pit road now. So I think he'll be back on the lead lap. But Colin Bowden, still your race leader. Then it's Caden Honeycutt, Justin Knobloch, Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr., Brandon McKissick, Kenny Brady, Will Norton, Will Cooley, Lucas Graham, your top 10.
Starting 11th on this very, very, very late race restart will be Lucas Graham, 12th, Brennan Hoff, 13th, Adam Gillen, 14th, Liam Brotherton, 15th, Santiago Tires, 16th, Nicholas Shelton, Christian Peterson back there, and 17th, Corey Carpenter, 18th, Michael Gorilla. We heard that name a lot tonight down there in 19th, and Will Klein rounds out the top 20 for this late race restart.
21st, Ben Nelson. 22nd, Daniel Smallwood. 23, Garrison Hogan. 24th, Jesse Swartz. Cale Gale, 25th. Jacob Harberts, 26th. Matt Adams, 27th. 1 lap down. Parker White, 28th. PJ Evan, 29th. Jesse Atchison, 30th. 2 laps down. James Wenzel, 31st. Kane Lapsovich, junk. He's still on pit road in 32nd. Tyler Justice, Kyle Myers, Landon Huffman, all DNF.
You know, something I was touching on how good of a point this was for Caden Honeycutt. One of the fastest trucks on track for this last run, Justin Knobloch, he's down there in 906th place in the standings for this series. So if he can keep it up front, and you know he has the truck to go out and win this thing, going to be an incredible day and incredible to see how far he jumps in the points after this one.
Kind of a comeback, come from behind underdog story, trying to make the second round of Roto Pro. We'll have to wait and see, as we should get lights out here. 1 lap to green. We will have 18 laps to go on a restart, and yes, indeed, lights are out on the pace car.
And you said earlier, you know, we have the context clues to say that Knobloch and Bowden are teammates, so I don't know if Knobloch's going to, you know, give his teammate a little bit of help here and not race him as hard maybe as he would if Honeycutt was there in front of him, but interesting to see as the lights are out on the pace car.
All right, Jarrett, what do you think? Do we make it, or do we have a couple cautions?
I think we make it. I think it takes a second for us to get there, but I think we definitely make it.
Watch out for Cozy. P5, third row, bottom line, green flag, Bowden on the gas. Here we go. 18 to go at Richmond, green flag.
Great jump for Bowden, great jump for Knobloch too, as he'll be able to get to the inside of Honeycutt as they head off into turn number 1.
Oh, Adam Gilliland in the wall. He keeps it going. No, he can't. Back across the track, 35 around. Caution. It's Sozio that got turned sideways. And it all started. Adam Gilliland got run up to the wall, and there was contact, and Gilliland was the car that got, or the truck that got sideways.
They were 4 wide there.
4 wide. And he makes contact with the 34 truck of Lucas Cram, and Gilliland just couldn't hang on nowhere for Sozio to go.
Yeah, 4 wide at Richmond's always going to end up like that.
Especially at that part of the track where you've got the pit road wall sticking out. The track kind of funnels together. It turns into trying to shove a marshmallow into a parking meter. Not enough room, too many trucks. Whammo. And we'll try it again.
Cautions breed cautions. We said at the start of the race, didn't really hold true for those 160 laps we were green, but now back-to-back cautions, and going 4 wide at Richmond's never going to end well. Most of the times doesn't end well, and definitely didn't there for some drivers.
It gotta be the easiest and hardest laps for Colin Bowden. It just, gotta keep it out in front, keep it clean. Gotta worry about the guys behind you trying to play games, but if they keep wrecking, gotta be easy out at the front. We're gonna step aside here, 15 to go this time by. We're under caution. Colin Bowden, your race leader. We've got the finish coming up. All right, we're still under caution.
In that last restart, and he has his teammate behind him, so I don't think he has to worry too much about getting raced too hard if head off into turn number 1. So I feel like he has the edge right now. Wouldn't be shocked though if someone like Cozy got up there and was able to put his name into the hat of professional drivers to win this race. What about you?
If we get a green flag run, Cozy, but maybe just a no block. He had some of the fastest laps under that green flag run. It wouldn't surprise me if that Ford truck gets to the back of the 10, tries to move him up out of the way a little bit. Not wreck him, just move him up out of the way, rattle his cage a little bit, and take the win for himself. But at this point, it's going to be the 4 or the 7 or the 10. I don't think Honeycutt's got enough time or enough speed. He seemed good on the short runs, but I don't know if there was enough laps for him to set up Bowden. It might be easier for Knobloch or Cozy, who've been faster throughout the night, to make it happen against that 10 truck.
Bowden's got such a good launch on that last restart. And maybe Honeycutt will realize what he did wrong and try to adjust it a little bit, try to maybe be side by side with him, at least when they head off into turn 1. But I think Bowden on these restarts has been too solid, and Knobloch being right behind him, he had a great jump on that last one too. Maybe it felt hard done by not to be scored in second after that. But I think Bowden and Knobloch and even Cozy are pretty good picks.
Well, you got teammates there, first and third on that bottom line. Gee, I wonder why they got such a jump together. It's almost like they knew what they were going to do before it happened.
The old hand out the window.
Here we go. I'll have 12 laps to go here at Richmond. Colin Bowden, Caden Honeycutt, Justin Knobloch, Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr. Here we go, green flag.
Knobloch there and beat him, Honeycutt to the line.
4 wide in the back again. They will keep it green for the time being. Nobody wads it up. Here comes Knobloch for second. Crash, trouble. 1 car around, back straightaway. 32, it's Ben Nelson, and we'll do this song and dance again.
Knobloch was in second place, had it over Honeycutt just until right before the caution came out, so I believe he will line up again third unless iRacing decides to give it to him there.
And Nelson bounced off a small one down on the inside and just couldn't hang on. Did not get turned, then got hit by the 8 of Garrison Hogan. And we'll have a restart inside 10 laps to go.
They were 3 wide there, 4 wide for a second, kind of like we saw in that last restart, but kept it clean a little bit longer this time.
Yeah, it was the side-by-side action that caused the crash, not the 4 wide. There's a replay here.
Norton just washed up, and then, right there, the 32 truck, the unfortunate person there coming out, Benjamin Nelson, goes around. Not a lot of damage, gets it back going again, but brought the caution out here.
Yeah, he's been towards the middle of the back of the pack all night long. Just unfortunate here that it happens late in the going. So we should have a restart with about 7 to go, 8 or 7 to go.
And it looks like iRacing gave the spot to Knobloch, so he'll start outside of his teammate. And like we said, I mean, like you pointed out, I mean, they've been going at the same time. The old hand out the window, the old key up the Discord chat. So I expect a good start here.
Ought to be a good run to turn one, just because Knobloch has been able to make that outside line stick a couple of times. I wouldn't be surprised if Honeycutt tries to pull something here, pull to the inside and try and make a 3-wide move going to turn one. That ought to be fun.
Or he'll use the Crown Horn, get into one of them, and then the other one will be on the high side and, get 2 for the price of 1. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be an incredible restart, and I think it's going to be all about where Knobloch's at on Bowden's car, when they get into turn number 1.
5th caution flag on the night. We've only had 1 caution between the 2 races we've had coming into tonight. So we've got a lot of cautions here at our disposal here from Richmond.
Lights still on the pace car.
It's going to be 6 to go here. Caution lap's taking forever. If we get another caution, though, you know what that means. Green, white, checker.
Glad you told me what it means. I was lost on it for a second, but we're here. We're here.
Good old overtime. We got 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered. If we can't do it in those 3 attempts, everybody goes home. Nobody wins. Of course, except for the winner. But well, hopefully we don't run into that problem. We haven't had to use a green, white checker yet in second split of the eNASCAR Pro Qualifying iRacing Series. We'll see if we have to use one here tonight. As please turn the lights off on the pace truck. Survey says yes, they're off. We got to restart with 6 laps to go.
I cannot think of a better track to use to go to our first green, white checkers of the season than Richmond. Restarts here are always crazy, especially in such intense moments and situations like this one in front of us.
I should say I'm surprised. I'm not. Especially, and, we'll see the same thing again when we go to Martinsville in June. Maybe even Darlington in a couple of weeks as well, just about a month from tonight. I mean, I can't say I'm too surprised that our first green, white checkers could come here at Richmond on a short track. Colin Bowden, Justin Knobloch, teammates on the front row. 6 to go with the line. Honeycutt peeking to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. He falls asleep. Green flag. Here we go.
Spun his tires. They're not able to get with his teammate.
That's going to hurt Cozy. He could help McCandless. Here we go. Turn 1.
Not able to get down to the inside. They're side by side on the backstretch.
And this is what Bowden wants to see. Everybody knotted up behind him. No clear advantage. We're going to complete a green flag lap. 5 to go.
Bowden's loving this side-by-side action behind him as Honeycutt thought he was going to dive it down really deep into turn number 1. They're still side-by-side, and Honeycutt looks like he'll have the advantage for the time being on the backstretch.
He's trying back into turn 3 as Cozy's trying to stick it down underneath McCandless for 4th. Honeycutt is clear. Can he make it? He's got 4 laps to get there. I think Colin Bowden's got this thing under lock and key. We'll have to wait and see, though.
You mentioned how good Honeycutt's truck looked on the short runs, and he's not really going out without a fight here on Bowden.
We'll see what times look like when they cross the stripe. 3 laps to go. They are just about even. Honeycutt a little bit faster. 3 wide further back. Nicholas Shelton sending it up the inside like a kamikaze pilot. Almost makes contact. He's going to make it stick. And, oh my gosh, that was close. Coming to 2 to go.
Here you go, about a trunk length and a half so far between Bowden and Honeycutt as they cross the stripe.
Honeycutt is probably just going to have to lick the stamp and send it. Almost even that last time by. 2 laps to go. Caution! Overtime it is. Turn 1, big. Parking lot. Still piling in. Garrison Hogan, Jacob Harberts. Oh, and it was, 3-4 wide. And Harberts turned the 30 into the 8 of Hogan, and it blocked the entire racetrack. The 28 hard into the inside wall. That's Cale Gale. He clobbered the inside wall, came back across the track. Good grief. Replay once again.
That parking lot right there, and those are heavy hits. There's just nowhere to go. Nowhere to go for some of those drivers.
Yep. Well,
Makes things a lot interesting.
Honeycutt's going to be on the outside. I think Knobloch may have the best chance, but the problem is we've only got 2 laps. As long as Bowden gets a good restart and doesn't money shift, I think he's got it in the bag here.
See how aggressive they want to be up front for this one.
I mean, if Bowden gets a good enough launch, I don't think they can be aggressive enough to get to Bowden. I think he's just too good.
Will be all about the launch, as there's not a lot of, even a green white checker, not a lot of time left. So we'll have 2 more pace laps, it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, green and white checkers, personally, I don't think work anywhere, just because short tracks, too little time. Plate tracks, it takes them a full lap to get up to speed. Even the mile and a half, it takes them a full lap to get up to speed, depending on the series. It just doesn't work, man. We need like 4 or 5 laps if you really want to have a not stupid finish. But that's just me. My 2 cents. It is what it is.
If you look at racing, the swords, though, stupid and entertaining are often right next to each other. So I think we'll, they can be a little bit stupid, a little bit entertaining. I feel like we're going to find the perfect balance of that right here in this green white checkered. Attempt number 1, I believe we get 3 attempts before, like you said, they say no one wins, everyone go home except for the winner. So lights are still on the pace car.
Gonna do this one more time.
This virtual crowd here at the virtual Richmond Raceway, treated to a good race so far tonight. I mean, a lot of single file green flag racing at the same time. Midfield, back of the pack, a lot of 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide racing for mid pack.
They're going to be on their feet hoping for a demo derby here, as we are at start finish and lights are still on the pace car. Oh, I'm on replay. That might be why the lights are still on. No wonder the live feed was off. Lights are still on, but you guys are in a different part of the racetrack. Now we're back to start finish.
Good to discover that now than after the race is already over.
And lights are now out on the pace car, not a truck. Oh boy.
A long night, no worries.
It happens to the best of us.
Hey, the big bucks. We got Honeycutt up there on the high side for this restart. Knobloch and McCandless in the second row. And Bowden, of course, been the guy to beat so far for most of this race.
Here we go.
Leaving a big gap between him and the pace car. I'm sure that's strategy, and he'll, his teammate Justin Knobloch will know all about
Pace
that.
car turns left. He hits the gas and leaves everybody in the dust. Let's see. And speeding up. Pace car's in. Hits the gas. Green flag. Knobloch spun the tires. Honeycutt got a good start. He's going to be clear on the outside of the bottom in turn 1.
He cuts back to the position he was in before the caution came out. Just a truck length there behind Bowden.
And that 29 in the middle, almost killing people. Trouble! They saved it. I don't know how. They're going to make it back to the white flag.
And Honeycutt's there. About a half truck length between him and Bowden for the lead.
Here we go. Last lap. All the chips in the center of the table. Colin Bowden out in front, dominated this race. Caden Honeycutt trying to seal the deal. Turn 3, we're going to do this again. Another incredible last lap. Honeycutt drives it in deep. Can he make contact? No, he cannot. Colin Bowden's going to hang on and win at Richmond.
Honeycutt definitely gave him a run for his money there, but kept it clean and, comes up with the second place finish. He'll be happy with that still.
One more lap, and I think he may have had a chance.
finally got a great launch on one of those restarts, and it showed that he had the speed to contend there, but Bowden able to get the job done, and that's a deserved win if I've ever seen one right there from Colin Bowden.
Colin Bowden gets the win. His first win on the season. He was 20th in points coming into tonight. His second top 5 on the season. And a great job tonight for that 10 truck. Let's run through some finishing results here from Richmond. It's Colin Bowden, your race winner. Then Caden Honeycutt in second. Blake McCandless, a great day, starting 15th, finishes third. Justin Knobloch finishes fourth. Brandon McKissick with the top 5. Michael Cozy Jr. fell to sixth. Then Liam Brotherton 7th. Kenny Brady 8th. Nicholas Shelton, hadn't talked about him much today. He finishes 9th. Christian Peterson started 32nd and blinked his way to a top 10, finishing in 10th.
Corey Carpenter brings it home at 11th in that 20 truck. Will Cooley in 12th. And then as we go through more of the field, Daniel Smallwood, 13th, didn't say his name much tonight. Michael Guerrilla back there in 14th. Santiago Tires, 15th. Will Norton, 16th, led a lot of the first opening laps. Benjamin Nelson, 17th. Brendan Hoff, 18th. Matt Adams, 19th. And Will Klein comes home 20th.
Adam Gilliland got involved in one of the late race cautions. He finishes 21st, started up in 6th spot. Garrison Hogan finishes 22nd. Parker White, 23rd. Lucas Cram, 24th. Jesse Swartz, 25th. Jesse Atchison, 26th. 27th for Cale Gale, 2 laps down in 28th. James Wenzel, 29th, 3 laps down. PJ Evans, rounding out the top 30, 5 laps down. Tim Sozio.
Jacob Harbert's 31st, 6 laps down. Caden Lapsevich got into the fence, really hard hit. 32nd, 31 laps down. Tyler Justice, 33rd. Kyle Myers, 34th. And Landon Hoffman, involved in that first lap caution, brings us home 35th, 168 laps down.
We made it. My goodness, we do have Colin Bowden to talk to interview here, Jarrett. So we'll bring him up here, and Jarrett, take it away.
Colin Bowden, you got us?
Yeah, I got you. You got me.
That was an incredible run you put together. The middle portion of that race you just checked out from the field. Then we saw those late race cautions. What goes through your mind when you see the caution come out when you're just putting a smackdown on the field and you have such a big lead?
It's just like once you get that big lead and you start getting down 50 or so to go, you're more so surprised if you don't get the caution. You're just kind of waiting for it and then hope you can just end up on the good side of it after that. You just put yourself in position. We had a good pit stop there and was able to keep the lead, and clean air was the main thing. I think Caden was probably faster on the short run there. I think if he'd have got clean air, he probably would have drove off, but we were just able to get clean air and maintain the race.
And, we saw at the end there restart after restart after restart with a lot of pressure behind you. What kind of goes through your mind when you have to nail on those restarts again and again and again late in the race?
Just don't overdrive it and just keep it on the bottom and try and keep dirty air on the nose of the car behind you. And if you don't make any drastic mistake, it's really hard for them to pass you on new tires unless they're really that much better. So just keep the car under you, keep it on the bottom, and hope you have enough speed on the short run.
Tonight we're at Richmond, and a couple of weeks ago over to Talladega, 2 polar opposites of really stock car racing. How do you see that race going compared to tonight, and how do you fancy your chances for it?
It'll probably go just about the way this one ended. We'll all be destroyed, flipping over upside down. I enjoy speedway racing. I enjoy it when you don't have to do it for points like this, but we'll go out there and just see what we can do. Probably ride around the back till 20 to go and then go find a wreck to get in.
Awesome. Yeah, and so, incredible job tonight. Anyone you want to give a shout out to here before we let you go?
Yeah, Will Rogers and Jake Fisher with Space Station Racing, Space Station Gaming, and a huge shout out Colin Keister for the setup work he put in on this week. He won the top split, and we were able to sweep second split here, sweeps top 2 splits. So big shout out to all of them.
Awesome, Colin. I don't know if Jacob has anything for you here before we let you go.
I can't say I do. Just happened to refresh points, and it looks like this. Okay, well, it's not fully updated because half of this split is counted and half of it, whatever. But congratulations on the win, dominating through most of the night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Talladega. Best of luck.
Thank you.
race winner, Colin Bowden, in the 10 truck. And third place finisher now, Blake McCandless. I'll be honest, Blake, I didn't even realize you finished third until I about closed out of iRacing. I was like, wait a second. He finished third? Where did you come from there in that second half?
Well, I'll tell you, we just we had a really good truck. Everybody at NFR did another great job preparing us a really fast piece. Decided to go a direction that was kind of different than the rest of the team at the last second, and it just with how hard it was to pass, how difficult the dirty air was. It really just came down to that lap. The first caution we got, whether you took tires or not, made a pretty big difference. And, I took the gamble to go down pit road. We got 4 fresh tires, and from there we were just cruising. We were running about P5 that whole race, and then just in the chaos that was those last couple of restarts, we got on the high side, got the track position we needed, and it ended up working out for us again. We got another 1 or 2 spots again on a late yellow. So, better to be lucky than good, but we had a little bit of luck and a little bit of speed on our side tonight.
Now, I'm curious because I know a lot of people were talking about the racetrack, kind of sort of multi-groove racing, but also not really. I'm curious your thoughts on what you guys raced on tonight.
Well, my opinion is actually I thought they did a pretty good job with the track. I thought you could it was definitely hard to make moves on the bottom, and I think largely that was just a product of the weather. We were all kind of built, 78 or 75 degrees, and we came out here and it was 82, so just made the bottom a little bit slicker, but for the most part, you could I know dirty air was kind of a thing, but I was running all over the racetrack searching for clean air. You could run the middle a little bit. Was kind of doing a Joey Logano wide sweeping arc into one. I didn't see too many people do that. So we were just trying a few things, but definitely the track position was really key. But as far as moving around, I do think there was a good amount of moving around that you could do here tonight. So it's definitely a lot better than it was a couple days ago. So the adjustments they made, I thought, were in the right direction.
And finally, before we let you go, any final thoughts? Anybody want to thank, say hi to?
Well, of course, got to give another shout out to everybody at North Force Racing, Matt Fortham's team over there. Everybody did such a great job, as they always do. Make sure we had a really fast truck tonight. Spent a lot of time, and we get a lot out of the time we put in. So, shout out to Nick, Corey, Santi. I know they didn't quite have the kind of the luck I had with the strategy getting through the field, but they did a good job as well. Everybody out there in the chat, that watches my stream and supports STN as well, makes these races fun to do when we got a lot of eyes on it, and we're just in a really good spot here points wise, and allows us to go into Talladega and just kind of let loose a little bit, not have to worry too much.
Well, best of luck at Talladega in 2 weeks. I know we'll be back Sunday calling the Alabama 500 together, but we'll see you in 2 weeks from Talladega, and hopefully you bring that truck home in one piece.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Blake McCandless, third place finisher here at Richmond, and points are not official. I don't know what points are doing. Janky. They'll be up probably later tonight, but you'll see them in 2 weeks. Final thoughts here, Jarrett, before we wrap things up.
Yeah, I had a blast out here tonight. I mean, watching the strategy play out, watching those green flag runs, some of the midfield pack racing, and then the end. I mean, it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So, really great job by all the drivers. Great job by Bowden to kind of just, lead the laps he needed to lead and get there. And great job by Honeycutt giving him a run for his money at the ends there. So, great night. Had a lot of fun. And, can't wait for Talladega.
All right, upcoming events here on STN. FTF Saturday Night Shootout, except it's on a Friday, presented by STN at Pocono with the Riley Daytona prototypes. Then Sunday at 4 o'clock, the 1998 Alabama 500K with the 87 cars running throwback paint schemes to NASCAR's 50th anniversary. Should be a fun time. Then FTF SNSL again at Daytona to set the grid for the final race at Talladega the following week. All of that and more you can find right here on STN, and we are back with the second split of the eNASCAR Road to Pro Qualifying iRacing Series at Talladega 2 weeks from tonight. Should be a good time. On behalf of Jarrett Mackey and Zach Johnson, our producer, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in those 2 weeks at Talladega. Until then, thanks and good night.